Welcome to Tia's Table, where we talk about making fitness and wellness doable for busy women like you and me. Looking for healthy meal ideas, workout motivation, and good conversation? Don't worry, I got you, girl. Sit back, grab a snack, and let's have some girl talk. Hey girl, hey, welcome back to another episode of Tia's Table. I'm Tia, a certified group fitness instructor and behavior change coach. I help women develop healthy habits that align with their health, wellness, fitness, and nutrition goals. If you or someone you know is looking to live a healthier life in a low maintenance way that is easy for them to sustain for a lifetime, please reach out to me. You can do that by emailing me at tiavfitness@gmail.com or reaching out to me on Instagram at tiavfitness. And you know, pretty soon our community is going to have an app. I'm so excited about that. In the app, you'll be able to track all of the things you need to track to develop those healthy habits. We'll be able to share workouts, have more intimate conversations, and really build a strong community of support. So I'm so excited. Stay tuned for that as well. If you would like to be coached through the app, that opportunity will be launching soon. So stay tuned to your emails and my Instagram stories to find out when that opportunity will become available to you. I have a very interesting thing, or at least it's interesting to me, to talk about this on this call, girl, because it's something that I've seen on the internet a lot. And I guess when I've seen the videos or I've seen the memes, like they've been interesting, they've been pretty, but I'm like, really, girl, like, what does that even mean? Today, we're going to talk about the soft girl era. What is it? What is that? Is that something that the kids just made up? You know, how do we get there? Is this even for us as women who are past their 20s and their 30s? Like, do we even need to be living a soft? Like, what does that even mean? So let's talk about that today. But before we do, let's talk about something, well, a few things, I think, maybe two, that are just so good. You have to have them on a plate and in a cup in front of you soon. First, let's talk about the new fall drinks at Starbucks. Now, like I've said before, I'm not a Starbucks girl. You know, I'm not at Starbucks every day because I'm not giving somebody $7 for coffee that I can make just as good at my house. That's number one. Starbucks is more like a treat to me. Like, I like doing it when I'm in the mood, like when I'm out and it's a nice day or a rainy day and I'm out and I'm running a whole lot of errands and I just want to put myself in a good mood. I'll go to Starbucks and get myself a drink. And this time of year, of course, they have all those pumpkin drinks that I really don't think anybody should be buying. But then they also have the apple drinks. And let me tell you about that apple macchiato. I get mine hot, so I'm talking about the hot version of it with the steamed milk. Oh my gosh, it has oat milk in it. It has a very sweet apple flavor. If you like apple pie or like a good apple strudel or any apple-based dessert, you will like that drink. It's so good. It's so good. Now, a grande is going to run you about 320 calories, but I think the next size down, what is that, the tall? Maybe. So see, I'm not even, I don't even know the sizes of the drinks, but I think the next size down runs you about 230 calories. If you're looking to kind of watch it on, the calories that you're drinking this time of year, because we're there. We're in the months of the burrs, right? Where September is all about, well, they try to make it all about pumpkin stuff. But, the drinks are out there. So you've got your pumpkins, your apples, your ciders, right? We've entered that time of the year where it is going to be like a parade of food and drinks, where it's going to be hard in certain instances to tell yourself, girl, you don't need that. We've got goals and things to do, because whether we want to admit it or not, what comes after the holiday season, girl, spring and summer is coming back like sand through the hourglass. So are the days of our lives, and these seasons, they will be back. They come back whether we've been doing what we feel like we should or not. You know what I'm saying? And this is the time of year, truly, if you missed summer 2023, if you felt like at summer 2023, I didn't quite catch those goals in time, the goals were ahead of me in the race, it's okay, because you have from now until you do your first spring or summer activity of 2024 to get a little bit more comfortable, right? So we can literally all start today. Today is like what? The day after Labor Day. It's September the 5th. So if we all started today with like working towards our goals and becoming more consistent and watching the foods and the drinks and all of that, all of us could be, close to where we want to be, very much so on the road there, if not meeting or exceeding our goals by, definitely by this time next year. But, by April, by a good little Easter moment, a good little Easter look, we could be very close to where we want to be. And y'all know I love using Easter as like the milestone marker because, girl, whatever you got at Easter, that's what we got. That's what we working with. So, we might not want to be driving through Starbucks that much. We might not want to drink these too often, but should you find yourself in a Starbucks situation, I'm telling you, that drink is so good. It's not too sweet. Although I feel like once you get to the end of it, like once you get to those but I mean, who's drinking that? Are y'all really like having the back of your head meet your shoulders on a Starbucks? Like, I'm not drinking. When I get to that low, I'm like, I'm done. And I do that with the coffee at home too. I'm not savoring every little sip. I'm getting what I need and I move on. I enjoy, while it's hot. And by the time I get to the bottom and it's done got lukewarm or room temp, like I'm over it. So, but anyway, try the drink. Let me know what you think. I promise it's good. I promise. It is so good. So that's the first thing. The second thing that I want to tell everybody about is the roasted cauliflower salad that I made yesterday, and I had it again for lunch today. It is so good. So let's talk about it. All you got to do is start with a bed of leafy greens of your choice. I had mine on like a microgreen, arugula, spinach, what do they call that? Butter lettuce type mix of leafy greens, right? I had mine on that and it was great. So let me tell you what goes on the salad. You get your leafy greens, whatever you like, right? Then you add in some quinoa, and I think a serving of the quinoa brown rice mix that I use, you get about 1 cup for a serving. So, get your carbs in there, girl. Get that brown rice and that quinoa. You put that on there. Then you take roasted cauliflower that you roasted in the oven. It takes about, maybe 25 minutes to roast cauliflower in the oven on 400 degrees. You toss it in extra virgin olive oil. You season it the way you like. Cook it until it starts to get a little crispy and it tastes good. And then you take it out the oven. So simple, so easy to do. And that is actually something that you can do while you're doing something else, right? I'm a big fan, and I say this all the time, of cooking while I'm cooking. So I might not meal prep like a whole bunch of meals at one time, but like if I go in the kitchen to make, let's say, I made that cauliflower yesterday while I was making dinner. So I was making dinner yesterday for my family, and I was like, while I'm in here cooking, let me go ahead and make this cauliflower that I know I'll need for lunches this week. But then the cauliflower came out so good, I ended up eating some of it last night, which is neither here nor there. I'm just saying, cook while you're cooking. So yes, go ahead, make your roasted cauliflower, right? Boom, we got that. Now for my salad, I used marinated red onions because I love those, and I love using the oil from the marinated onions as a base for salad dressing. But you can use regular red onion and it's still going to be good, because last night I had it with regular red onion and it was fine. So I did a little bit of red onion. I do some pistachios, some feta cheese, right? So good. Then you do the protein of your choice. Last night I had it with some steak. Today I had it with egg whites, right? Egg whites, and then there's some protein from the feta cheese, and from the pistachios, so you still end up getting some protein in there. But I did a meat-free version of it today, and it was absolutely delicious. Now for the dressing, like I said, I used some of the oil from my marinated onions as a base. I did the juice from about a fourth of a lemon. Like I just cut off the end of a lemon Squeeze that in there. I put some kosher salt, black pepper, some crushed red pepper in a little bowl. Whisk that together really nice. So it was like a little spicy, tangy, really quick vinaigrette. And when I mean to tell you that salad was good, and I hope I'm not missing any of the toppings. I did the quinoa, the onion, the feta cheese, the pistachios, egg whites, on leafy greens. And then you could always just swap out your protein. Like later on tonight, I might have that same salad, but with chicken as the protein. Or I might have it tomorrow with like tuna or something like that. Just swap out the proteins, but keep the base. And it's so good. So good. That salad made me feel like fall. It made me feel like I might be ready. I might be ready for the temperatures to drop just a little bit. Like I might be over the heat. I enjoyed summer. I feel like like I'm new to being a summer girl for the past, 3 years maybe? Maybe for as long as I've been doing this podcast. Like I just recently became someone that was fond of the summertime. Like I'm a big, big fall girl. I love fall season. It is my absolute favorite. So for me to be someone that's saying like, ooh, not too much on the fall just yet. Like y'all hold off. It's not time. That's big. That's huge. Because I'm normally the person that's pulling pumpkins out from the basement on a day like today. As soon as Labor Day is over, I'm like, okay, it's time for pumpkins. It's time for all of the things. Pull it out. Let's dive deep into fall. And I'm not quite there yet. Maybe by the end of this week though. Because I'm also a person that believes like, if you don't hurry up and decorate, the season will pass you by. And it'll be on to something else before you've even gotten a chance to enjoy the season that you're currently in. So a part of me feels like you can't rush the seasons. Like enjoy the season that you're in. Don't rush off to the next one. But then also at some point you got to turn the page because if not, like you'll miss it. And I know that's how this time of year is. I know that's how it is. Like if I don't put those pumpkins out by the end of this week, it's kind of like it's no point in doing it. It's going to be like it's no point in doing it. Even though we do have all of October. But we all know at the end of October, before Halloween has even happened, they'll start playing those Christmas movies on TV. Before you have even passed out one candy bar to any, willing participant, they will start playing those Christmas movies on TV. And we will all feel like it's time, like it is time. It just bring out the Christmas. Like I feel like the throwback Target lady in my little red jumpsuit. Okay. I'm pulling out all of the Christmas trees. And honestly, at the front end of the season, I'm actually more like the Grinch. So I've got my red and green on and I'm tossing those Christmas trees over my shoulder and not in the best of moods. I'm like, oh my gosh, I hate doing all the work that it takes to decorate this place for Christmas because it's short-lived. Literally the day after Christmas, I'm snatching that stuff back down, which is why I completely understand why people decorate early. Because I'm like, the earlier you decorate, the longer you get to, enjoy the decorations and the longer you kind of get to like reap the labor of having decorated to begin with. Because it's labor, it's work, transforming your home from its everyday chaos into a winter wonderland for about 45 days. That's a lot of work. So, we'll all get through it together. Like we'll all make it there. Let's all start with our fall drinks from Starbucks and then we'll all just kind of cruise right into all of the different things that happen between now and the new year. So, yes. But back to my salad. Back to the salad. So, the salad is so good. It really does make you feel like fall. I've never had a kava bowl, but it looks like the kava bowls y'all be eating on social media. So I would say try it or try some version of it. You probably could get the same flavor profile from using like any vinaigrette dressing that I would say isn't too sweet. So maybe not like a balsamic vinegar. If you happen to have a vinaigrette recipe that you like, do that one and just add a little crushed red pepper to it. Like just add a little spice to it. And I'm pretty sure our salads will be very similar to one another. And you know what I'll do? I'll make sure I share the salad recipe on social media. How about that? In some way, I'll put it out there so that people who want to make it, they can make it. So yes, that's what's on my table, girl. Eating all the things. Ooh, and just really quick before we go, I had more than one cheeseburger over this Labor Day weekend, and we're going to talk more about that towards the end of the show. But my gosh, I had forgotten how absolutely good they were. Like, so satisfying. Nothing is more satisfying than biting into a good cheeseburger. We're going to talk more about it later, but I also want to throw it out there. So if you have been walking the straight and narrow for quite some time, let's say you've been super consistent, your results are resulting, everything is moving in the way that you want it to move in, and you can see progress, let me tell you, girl, one cheeseburger ain't going to stop your show. So the next time you get ready to treat yourself, if you're a meat eater, and I suppose if you're not a meat eater, because, they have like the veggie Beyond Burgers that are really, really good too. But girl, go get you a cheeseburger, like a real one. Like, go get you a good, juicy, greasy cheeseburger. And my prayer for you is that the fries are going to match, that the fries are going to be doing what they need to do so you can sit there and just have a mouthful of food that tastes so good and is so comforting, because my goodness, I got my whole life this weekend eating those cheeseburgers. So, okay, but that's it. Moving on to the main topic of discussion for our call today. And it is that of the soft girl era and how it could possibly impact our whole journey, right? I had to look up what exactly do they mean by soft girl, because all of the videos, like I said, they all look so different. And I guess it must mean something different to everybody. For some people, their soft girl era apparently is them like treating themselves to nice things. They're shopping, they're going on trips, they're just in a total state of vibes 100% of the time, right? For some people, I think it means allowing their more vulnerable feminine side to show through. They're going to take a back seat, and they are going to, see what becomes of their life if they kind of switch up maybe some of the things that they were doing. And because I couldn't get a concrete perspective on what it meant to be a soft girl based on what I was looking at online, I went to the Urban Dictionary and I pulled up the definitions. So let us read them. If everyone could get out their hot girl booklets and we will read together in soft girl chapter. Here we go. Definition number 1. An era in which a woman chooses to only have kind, loving, gentle, and supportive people in her life. It is a time where she makes an effort to live in peace, happiness, and calmness. Definition number 1. And I can get with that. I'm like, okay, so this woman has decided that she's only going to keep her circle tight. Is, tight circles, no squares. Everybody loves me. I'm all about peace, happiness. I'm remaining calm when maybe I would have normally gone off before. I'm choosing peace more days than I choose violence. That is what definition number 1 says to me. Now, as in all dictionaries, there was more than one definition to what soft girl meant. And I am going to delight you and indulge you in definition number 2, because when I read it, I said, now this ain't going to be for everybody, but it might be for some of us, because we may have or may not have all been at this point in our lives at some point. So let's just read this. Maybe we got a couple 20-somethings listening to the podcast. So we're going to put this out there and then we will discuss. Definition number 2. One of the final phases of a city girl's or hot girl's cycle where she realizes she's nearing 30 plus and is trying to reform her hoe phase with dating with a purpose by being more feminine. And I have so many questions about that. My first one would probably be, how can you assume that your hoe phase is not also a feminine phase? That would be question number one. Cause I mean, I don't know how many, I don't know how many people you guys know that may or may not have had a hoe phase, but like you're in your peak femininity, I would say, during that. But that's just my personal opinion. And that's probably a topic for a completely different episode. So we will talk about that at another time. But those were the two definitions that the Urban Dictionary gave to me. And I don't know how much how much value we place in the Urban Dictionary, but we're going to go with that. We're going to go with that and use it for the basis of our conversation today. So, are we in our soft girl era? Like, are we all still like working really hard and having difficulty kind of selecting the people that we have in our life? Like, are we always choosing peace, happiness, and calmness? At some point, is being a soft girl because you know how y'all like to do everything on the internet and you take it too far. So I'm pretty sure it's somebody out there that's saying, oh, but if you practice the whole soft girl thing, like that's toxic because your life can't be such and such and such and such all the time. Yes, it can. Yes, it can. Yes, it can. Your life can literally be whatever you want it to be, however much of the days you plan to spend it that way. Or at least that is what I have decided to start believing for myself. I'm like, oh no, if I'm genuinely living my life, like let's say we all decided to be soft girls, right? We have surrendered our hoe flags apparently, and now we are all living in our soft girl era. If you decided that every single day when you woke up, you were going to practice peace, happiness, a certain calmness about yourself, you were only going to, have relationships with people who were kind, loving, and gentle and supportive of you in your life, like what would be the problem in that? That to me sounds amazing. It sounds like you're creating a little euphoria for yourself. It sounds like you're creating a little universe for yourself where all things are good things. And you know that no matter what is happening in the present moment, eventually, if we remain calm enough and we choose to tap into peace and happiness, things will pass and everything is going to be all right. That is what soft girl era sounds like to me. Now, comparing the definition and what we might understand it to be with some of the stuff we've been seeing on the internet, now that's two completely different things. Because the internet, which is the internet, right, and content is made so that people can like earn a living and all of that. And we are not knocking the girls and their hustles. But I think maybe what they are trying to show us without showing us is that, yeah, your soft girl era can kind of be whatever you need it to be for you. I think it's just a softer version of you. And I want to talk about kind of how we get there. Like I was born in 1984. Shout out to the almost 40 somethings, like it's our time. I was born in 1984, which means I was a child of the 90s, right? Taught to be very independent, taught to be very responsible. I feel like if you were a kid or like a teenager or even like a young adult during that time, you were raised very differently than like the children of today, right? The people who are in their 20s right now, I feel were raised completely different than we were. And I feel like we're raising our children a lot different than we were. But I think our children are getting like the sandwich effect, right? So they're getting the good parts of being raised by a 90s kid with the good parts of being like the child of a millennial, right? Which something else that I have not done a good job of keeping up with is like who is who. Like I think I'm a millennial. If you're older than me, I don't know what that makes you, generation whatever. But like it's all good because we don't really put too much into age around these parts anyway. But I really do feel like kids who are being raised by my generation and the generation that came before me, they are getting like the best of both worlds, right? And I think we're raising our children with a soft life. Like, I feel like our kids won't ever even really realize what the opposite of their lives could have been, because they're being raised softly, right? They live soft lives. Now, once they become adults and they get out here in the world and the world gets a hold of them, they'll realize real quick what a regular life is like. We're not going to call it a hard life, although some lives are hard, right? But we just going to call it a regular life. Like, we're not going to wish hard on them. But just when life starts to get real regular for them, our children are going to be like, ooh, like, ooh, nobody told me. Whereas our upbringing taught us hard out of the gate. Like, we knew hard on some level. And of course, there's a spectrum of hard, right? We knew hard. We knew hard work. We knew discipline. We knew responsibility. We knew what you ain't gonna do, what they said you was gonna do, and that you better not say nothing about what they said you was gonna do. Like, we grew up like that. So we did not know soft. Like, we're having to teach ourselves soft and come into a soft girl era. And I think that transition is a lot harder than these little cute videos on Instagram are making it seem. You have to mentally decide softness and then actually put action behind it to make it so, right? But how do you do that? Thinking about it for this podcast episode, I was like, okay, well, let me think about this. Like, in what ways would I consider myself to already be living the soft girl life, right? Because I always try to look at the positive first. And I was like, okay, well, you know what, Tia? For the most part, you have figured out a good little daily routine for yourself that really does reduce stress, right? I think naturally as a person, I'm nice before I choose not to be. So I think that's playing in my favor. That's already, living the soft girl life. I aim for peace and happiness until somebody makes me unpeaceful and not happy. But I do shoot for it first. Like, I wake up every day with that as the goal, right? And I would say that for the most part, yeah, my spirit is very calm for the most part. And if it does get shaken up a little bit, I would say that I lean more into the like bubbly, excited side of myself. I don't tend to dive deep into the opposite. You know what? And I don't know if this has anything to do with the fact that I'm an Aquarius, but I'm going to look it up after we get off the phone. I think because, though, I'm an Aquarius, and someone can correct me when I'm wrong, I don't tend to go in the opposite direction too often. I just stop. You know what I'm saying? Like, when something upsets me or it riles me up, like, I literally just stop. I'm just like, oh, and then I can act like something or someone never even existed. And I don't mean that in like a shady way, or I don't even mean it as a flex. I mean, genuinely, I can literally pull up off of something or somebody really quick, and it's just like it never even, I just walk away, which then frees me up for more of like the confetti happiness and joy that I be trying to sprinkle everywhere. But so I think being in your soft girl era is very much so that, like, it's choosing to be that way even when it is difficult. I think choosing the soft girl life can have a big impact on your health, wellness, fitness goals. And hear me out on that. I feel like when you are being really intentional about what type of person you want to be, I do think that kind of leaks over into other areas of your life. So if you wake up every day saying like, ooh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, maybe being a soft girl means that you're going to romanticize. And I know I talk about that a lot, but it's because I think it's important. You make things really special for yourself by romanticizing any and everything that you do. And you kind of slow down and you take a slower pace to the day. And I think it's hard to be a soft girl if you're always in a rush. If you're always in a rush, it's going to be real hard to keep things soft, because you know what? If something does bring the other Tia out of me, it is running late or being late or, Lord, help me. or having to wait. Any one of those things. And I'm like, ooh, like it triggers me. So I think one of the ways, and if you don't already have a really good like flow to your day, or if you find that you're always rushing, or if you always feel like you're behind, or like you never have enough time or whatever, I think maybe solving that for yourself first, like figuring out how to, solve that time issue for yourself first is going to be a really good way to go ahead and start your soft girl era. Because I used to be that person. I used to be a person that always says like, oh, it's not enough time in the day, or like, oh, I need more time, or, oh, whatever. And I felt like I was always rushing from the second I got up until the second I went to bed at night. I felt like I was always rushing through the day. Like I was going through the car wash of the day, and it was quick. It was wash, rinse, repeat on me all day long. And that was just no way for me to live. So I kind of took a step back, and for me, I figured out what I could change about my day and my life to give me more of a softer feeling of like living each day, right? And once I did that, I noticed that my life did get better. I mean, it didn't change everything about my life, but on a day-to-day basis, I'm way more calmer than I used to be. That is for sure. And it's because I feel like I'm not rushing. And I think that's one of the things we can all kind of take a look at to kind of help us with our soft girl era. Another thing that I think would help us all kind of tap into that soft girl side is to figure out ways to reduce your anxiety. So like the time issue was big for me and my anxiety, because when you're running late or you feel like you're always behind, that's triggering for your anxiety, or at least it was triggering for mine. And I needed to solve that problem so that I could stop eating ashwagandha like it was a Tic Tac, right? So solving the time problem, yes. But the other thing that I noticed that was really creating that, like, I don't know, that was just stirring that up in me was unorganization, right? It really was the fact that every time I turned around, I felt like I was looking at something that I needed to do. And I don't care if that was a stack of papers on the countertop that wasn't supposed to be there, because I have asked them not to do that to my countertops, or if it was like a basket of laundry, or just stuff being where it wasn't supposed to be. Which I've always known this about myself. Clutter drives me insane. Like I cannot function. And I think I've talked about that on the podcast before. I cannot function if I'm always looking at a mess that needs to be cleaned up. Like that will literally shut me down, right? So getting a handle on those kind of things, like the little home projects, knocking those out, definitely freed up a lot of my energy and has reduced a lot of my anxiety and calmed me down in a way that's been very helpful. And it has allowed me to tap into like the softer side of myself, because now I feel like I can move through the day without those tiny little things triggering you. So if there are things that you notice when you're moving throughout the day that bother you, I think eliminating those things or reducing them as much as you possibly can, or just figuring out a way to kind of solve those problems for you on a daily or weekly basis. And that can mean maybe you outsource something, you bring in a housekeeper, maybe you get a laundry service. Like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I could do a laundry service, but it sounds amazing. But if I ever got my hands on another service that was really solving a problem for me and it was helpful and it was worth the money, oh my gosh, I can't even tell you how much that would like free me. I'm almost considering looking for a service to come decorate this house for Christmas, just because I have all of the things. And I know there are people out there that do it. I have all of the things, but my goodness, bringing that stuff up from the basement, putting it up, fluffing all the trees, and just doing it's a lot. It is a lot, it's a lot. So just eliminating anything that triggers you or bothers you, it could be on a small level. Like I said, it could be something as small as people putting their keys on the counter, or people dropping lunch boxes where they don't go. And I'm telling, these are the things that happen in my house that bother me. It could be anything. If it bothers you, figure out a way for it to not bother you anymore. And I'm almost 100% certain it's going to help you live your soft girl life. Because you got to free up a lot of that energy to be open to accepting the more softer side of yourself, the more vulnerable, feminine, side of yourself that wants to live in this euphoric state of calmness, right? When we allow things like choosing the soft girl era to have an impact on our overall health, wellness, and fitness journey, I think it also kind of motivates us in a way, or it gives you a new perspective of looking at your journey, which I think is pretty interesting. I think if you've been, let's say you've been on your journey for a while, and let's say you've had a couple starts and stops along the way, right? Sometimes it's good to try something new or try living your life in a different way to just kind of motivate you to stay on the path, right? Because maybe in your soft girl era, you are practicing some of the things that we've talked about here, but you're also treating yourself to really good, delicious food, right? And you are eating that food on your china or whatever plates you got when you got married. We didn't get china when I got married. We did not get china. I don't even think we were registered for china, which I think is one of the things that happens when you get married when you're 21. Like, I'm pretty sure somebody probably told me to do it, and I was just like, for what? Like, why? Like, why would I do that? So we don't have china. But girl, get you some pretty plates. Get you some pretty plates. Get you some pretty glassware. You eat your very good, healthy meals on your beautiful plates with your beautiful cutlery. Maybe you light a candle. Maybe you dim the lights if you can do that. And you just make everything a very much so like softer version of what it was before. You figure out ways to slow your life down so that you can feel the softness of your days. I think that is what the soft girl era is about. And I think we get there by looking at our lives as we see it today, figure out what can go so that we can enjoy like a new version of our lives. It's very similar to purging your closet, right? What's the lady's name that taught everybody about tidying up? Marie Kondo, is that her name? Yes. If it's not bringing you joy, like, girl, get rid of it. Get rid of it. But instead of your closet, do it with your life. If it's not bringing you joy, get rid of it. Get rid of it. And it could be things that you're doing. You could be somebody that's been knitting your whole life because you learned to do it when you were in the 4-H club in 5th grade, right? But maybe you don't even like knitting. Knitting doesn't bring you joy. You just do it because maybe, so-and-so asked for a knitted scarf. Can you knit me this? But you don't like doing it. Girl, quit. Burn the needles. Burn the yarn. Get rid of it. You can literally stop doing the things that do not bring you joy or excite you and fill that space and time with things that kind of speak to more of who you are as a person, as the woman that you want to become. Like, it's never too late to make a good decision. And today we can all choose the soft life. Maybe definition number 1, though, not so much definition number 2. Because at this point, I think many of us are in our definition number 1 phase of life. We've left definition number 2 way back over 20 years ago, probably, I'm sure, for the most of us, right? Now, if you are listening to this and you're still very much so in definition 2 phase of living your soft girl life, then girl, like, get it how you live it. Girls, do what you got to do. Live the life you want to live. Be safe and responsible. But if you're choosing to now be like the soft girl because you're ready to you're ready to throw in your hot girl shorts, then yeah, just don't be out here doing too much for them though. Because at the end of the day, girl, you're the prize. You're the prize. You're the prize. You are the prize. And let me also just say that if you are dating and all of that, girl, start off being a soft girl. Don't start off thinking that you got to do a million things, right? To secure anything or anybody. Start off being a soft girl so that once that relationship is, like a contract on paper and y'all are together, you can continue on in your soft girlness of it all. Like you don't have to have another transition later on in life. If you don't listen to anything I say on this podcast, listen to this. Don't work too hard. Do enough, like put the breadcrumbs out there so they can nibble them up, right? Put the breadcrumbs out there like we do. And maybe this is a conversation for another podcast episode too. Put the breadcrumbs out there. Let him nibble them up, secure the bag and the man if that's what you're trying to do. But keep the soft girlness of it all at the forefront. So that man know exactly what he getting when he gets you. And you don't have to worry about doing a whole nother life transition once you are, married and living together. Trust me when I tell you, you don't want to have to do it in the opposite. Because let me tell you, girl, when they get used to you doing 8 million things, then y'all get married and you decide you ain't doing 8 million things no more. And you have to tell them. And it's kind of like a knuck if you buck type situation. Because you got to tell him and you got to tell them new people that you gave birth to that you're not doing that. We not doing that. We in our soft girl era now. And like all of them are looking at you like you have grown a second head. Like it's not fun. I mean, they'll come around. They will adjust. They will. But you just to avoid all of that, girl. Become a soft girl. Like, if you're trying to hang up your hoochie mama shorts, hang them up. Keep them in your closet, though. Keep them in your closet because sometimes you might end up going and doing things. You might have to reach, put on your freakum dress. Keep them. But, hang them up, retire them, do what you got to do, but just keep those parts of you very much so alive and well so that you don't have to start all over again when you are turning 40. I don't know. What do we think about the whole soft girl era thing? Like, do we think it's a thing? Do we not? Do we think it's helpful? Like, are we trying to live like this? Is it too late for us? I personally feel like it's never too late to do anything that's going to better myself. It's never too late to make a good decision. And this seems like a good one. So let's see if we can practice being a soft girl, if we can implement the soft girl era into our health, wellness, and fitness journey in a way that feels right for us, because I'm sure it's different for everybody. And let's just see where it goes. Let's see where it takes us. Let's see where it takes us. So that means we're not cussing people out when they cut us off in traffic no more. We're going to be slow to anger. You know what I'm saying? We are going to move slow through the day. We're going to not necessarily make people wait on us, but they're either on our time or they're not on time. How about that? And this is coming from somebody that does not like to wait, like I have already said. But we're going to move through the day at our own pace, whatever pace we select for ourselves, and it's going to be all good. So let me know what y'all think about the whole soft girl thing. Moving on to the personal workout report, I don't have much to share. August was like I said, it was a busy month for me. I was doing something and I was everywhere almost every weekend, which was fun. But this month I'm looking forward to like buckling back down and getting back into the habit of, the gym 4 times a week, getting my cardio in and all of that. I'm also going to try to walk on the weekends more consistently. Up until this point, I had been kind of doing it off and on, but this month I'm really going to try to walk on Saturday mornings. And so far, it's only been one Saturday this month, but so far I am at a 100% success rate for that. So I'm going to pat myself on the back. And that's really it. I'm also not going to eat any more red meat this month. I had my fix and my fill over the weekend and I can't do it no more. It's not for me. I think this 40-year-old gut, this almost 40-year-old gut said, girl, don't you put none of that back down here. Don't you do it, because it might have tasted good when it was going down. But now we're about to wreak havoc on your life because you should have known better. You should have known better than to eat that many cheeseburgers. You know what I'm saying? You should have known. You should have known. I feel like Monica, you should have known, right? And I probably did know, but I was just like, ooh, YOLO, like you only live, I'm tired. And I ate, right? I ate and I didn't feel anything right away, which is great. I didn't feel anything the next day, which is even better. But when I mean to tell you, yesterday I was miserable. Monday on actual Labor Day, I was miserable. Like I could feel the meat in my gut and it just did not feel good. So keep me in your T's and P's because I'm not down bad, but I'm not having the best day. I'm not being drugged through the mud necessarily, but like things could be better for me in this current moment. So no more red meat for me this month. I think I've had my fix maybe until my wedding anniversary in December. And that's only because normally when we do go out for our anniversary, I do like to have like a steak or something like that. So keep me in your T's and P's. Keep me there. Now let's talk about some of the random yet relatable things that have been going on my timelines or things that I have seen on TV. First and foremost, let's talk about A Different World because I decided to binge watch A Different World from the beginning and I'm done with it now. Like I've seen all there is to see. And I think when I watched that show as a younger person, like I really loved Dwayne and Whitley. And I still love Whitley. I would like to believe that I am a mix of Whitley and Freddie. Like if I had to pick characters from that show that were most like me, I would say I am a combo of Whitley and Freddie. I'm carefree and quirky and silly like Freddie, you know, a little socially awkward like Freddie. But I'm also like very Southern and I think kind of spoiled. I don't like the word spoiled. I don't like it. But like, you know, I am very much so like Whitley in a lot of ways, right? So, yes. So love the show. Watching it as an adult, I realized that I really don't like Dwayne that much. He may have been exactly what Whitley, like if you watch the show over on one of the episodes, she tells him like, you're always picking on me. You're this, you're that. And I'm like, yeah, girl, he is. Like he's always really hard on you. And he's always talking down to you, and he is always picking on you unless he's trying to be sweet, which really, it kind of negates itself because if you're always picking on me, I'm probably feeling like you're only being nice to me to make up for the fact that you're always picking on me. Like really, Dwayne. And Dwayne, if we want to keep it a buck, you never even had a fresh haircut on that show until like the 5th or 6th season. Where were the barbers? Why did he have such a peasy head for the first, 4 seasons of that show? So that was something else that bothered me because I was like, ooh, Whitley, you can't be in love with him. He didn't even go get his hair cut on a regular basis. And I know they were in college, so maybe the funds were low, but there's always a homie with clippers somewhere in the dorm that can tighten you up real quick. I'm sure. I just know it. I just know it. But I decided that I really like, ooh, Dwayne, you can miss me and Whitley. And I really wish she had married Byron. But then I don't know because Byron was a politician. But Byron knew what he wanted because he met her, dated her, proposed. And they were going to get married until Dwayne hit the baby please. So I don't know. I just know I didn't like what I saw watching it back. And I kind of also feel like I would have preferred, maybe I would have preferred for Ron's character to be like the main guy of the show. And like instead of being a sidekick, because I feel like Ron was very genuine and authentic and relatable. Like he made it through college eventually, right? He was involved in a lot of activities. He was fun. Ron might have been on his second definition of the soft girl era. But he owned it, right? He owned it. That was his reputation at school. And I guess people dealt with him accordingly. I don't know. But just watching the show back, I'm just like, ooh, Dwayne, they really had us thinking that you were that guy. And really, you were not. You were not. So, I don't know. Watch it again if you have time and then tell me what you think. But that was my takeaway from my recent binge of A Different World. Next up, I watched The Bachelorette, the newest one with Charity as the Bachelorette. And I would say for the most part, the season was okay. Like if you haven't watched it, I'm not going to tell you who she picks. But The season went well. I would have to say, though, that whole thing that they do on that show now where they keep somebody around a lot longer than they should just to make interesting TV, like that's getting old and they need to stop doing that. It's getting old and they need to stop doing that. And another thing that I feel like I don't like that's happening with the whole Bachelor-Bachelorette thing now too is that the next Bachelor or Bachelorette is normally someone who was on the previous season. And hear me out on this. I don't like that because how could you be in love? Well, you claim anyway that you're so in love with one person only a few weeks ago, and then when you're not selected, they make you the next Bachelor or Bachelorette, and all of a sudden you're ready to start dating 25 people. Walk me through that, because I do not understand. Like if I guess if you're going on the show, you're going on the show for whatever reason, but I'm just like, how you going to be in love with Charity a month ago, and now you're on this, declaring that you're ready to meet someone and not only just start dating them, but like propose to them and get married to them all in that short amount of time. Like they really need to do like a casting special for this show. The same way they used to do it for another show. What is that? Married at First Sight. How they do the casting special and you kind of get to meet people before they come on the show. They need to start doing that for the Bachelor or the Bachelorette. Instead of giving me, I don't know, maybe just add an episode to the season, but give me a casting special. And maybe they do this and I just skip it and I don't watch it. But I want to get to see more of these people before they make it on the show and they're like competing. Because a lot of them I do feel like only get on the show at this point to be on the show. And I say that because if you are not a winner of The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, if you're just on the show and you become a fan favorite or like the general viewing population, people that watch the show, if they show interest in you and they like you for any reason, you could have been the villain on your season, but if people have shown an interest in seeing you on TV, they will drop you over there on Bachelor in Paradise like it's nobody's business, which then also makes me want to know what these people do for a living. How can you walk away from your job long enough to shoot The Bachelor or The Bachelorette? Because I think that's like weeks of time that you're away from your life, right? And I remember the Bachelorette, Michelle Young, being on her season, and I think it must get filmed over the summer because she was a school teacher, and I remember her saying like, yeah, like they were on break for the summer, right? And then when she was the Bachelorette, I don't know if it was the same thing, but I think at that point she had to take a leave of absence from her job. Like she had I want to say she said that on the show, like she had a sub and she would go back to teaching when the show was over and yada, 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 which fast forward to today, Michelle is not a teacher. Michelle lives in the California, like the Los Angeles area. And she's doing what all of them do once they are no longer on the show. And that's figure out a way to prolong their notoriety as being someone who has been on the show, which again, we're not knocking the hustle. I'm just saying, I think that makes people come on the show. And instead of coming on the show for like love and to really, be the person that gets selected at the end, they're now coming on the show just to start a career for themselves as a person that's a member of Bachelor. I think they call it Bachelor Nation, which is so weird to me because I'm like, ooh, I know people like watching the show, but apparently there's like a level of fandom that I knew nothing about, but I'm aware of it now. Same takeaway I had from going to the Peloton experience a couple weeks ago. When I went to the yoga class with Dr. Chelsea Jackson Roberts, I knew there were people like me who like enjoyed Peloton and like you like it and you use it, but I don't think I quite realized that there were like actual fans. Like there's a level of fandom to that whole community too that I just did not get or understand until I saw it in the flesh, and then I was just like, wow, people really get into this. How did I not know this before? But like, yeah, if you haven't watched Charity's season of The Bachelorette, definitely check it out. It was worth the binge. It was worth it. Something that I just started watching on Netflix that I haven't seen like the whole thing yet, but I literally just started it, so maybe we can all watch it together, is the Live to 100 Secrets of the Blue Zones documentary. And it's a documentary that kind of explores how people that live in other regions of the world are able to have such long life expectancy, as opposed to that of the United States where we're dropping like flies. So they're going to teach us and show us what's different about the way people in other cultures and places live that help them be really healthy. So let's all kind of check that out and take our notes and compare to see what they're doing that we could also kind of start doing, because this girl is never too late. We talked about this a little bit before, but the whole idea of rushing into the next season, a friend of mine was sending me, what was that, pictures of the Christmas creamer that's already in the store. And to that, I just say, yeah, they really want, they want us to be rushed to like get to the next thing. And I'm just like, I'm all for the seasons changing. Like I said, I'm all for the seasons changing. But if you're going to rush me into something, I feel like right now at the beginning of September, if you're going to rush me into something, rush me into fall. Like put me in fall, maybe give me a little bit of Halloween, you know, a little bit of Thanksgiving. Like that's where we should be right now, even though it's still hot outside. And I think that's what gets a lot of people like in their feelings about rushing into the holiday season, is that it is definitely still hot outside. My knee just hit my phone, so I don't know if you guys could hear that. But yeah, it's definitely still hot outside. So, you know, it's hard to kind of get into that cozier mindset when it's still 90 something degrees outside every single day. Although the temperatures have been dropping, and it has been kind of like in the 80s a couple days here and there, but for the most part, like it's still hot. And why do you even want to try to sell me Christmas creamer when it's still like 90 plus outside every day? You need to hold off on that Christmas creamer until at least mid-October. Like hold it until at least mid-October. Then, you know, which poor Thanksgiving, she doesn't stand a chance ever. People skip over Thanksgiving like it never even existed. And, you know, what can be said about that? I don't know. But, yeah, we all like we already stated, we all have to do a better job of like kind of slowing down and enjoying where we are without rushing on to whatever the next thing is going to be. Virgin River comes back to Netflix one day this week. So if you have not seen Virgin River, 10 out of 10 recommend. It gives soapy, like if you like a good soap opera, which I don't actually, even though this episode did have a soap opera reference. If you caught it in the beginning, I remember that from my childhood. But like, I'm not a big soap opera person, but this show gives like that soapy feel mixed in with that little Hallmark goodness that we all like. But of course, because it's on Netflix, it gives the plots and the storylines of some of the things that you can do on Netflix. And it's just so good. There are a few seasons of it already up on Netflix, and the new season starts this week. So if you start watching it now, you can watch all the way to the end of whatever this new season is when it starts, which I think might be season 5. I'm not sure. But if you haven't seen Virgin River, watch it. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Virgin River used to be a book, or was a book series or something like that, I think, if I'm not mistaken, which doesn't mean anything to me, girl, because I didn't read the books. So I'm cliff noting it by watching it on TV, and it is remarkable. It's so good. Don't know how it compares to the books, but the TV version of it is good. So give that some of your TV time if you have not already. And if you do own a Peloton, you can now watch Netflix, HBO Max, Disney Plus, or YouTube TV while you do your cardio. And let me tell you, I've been getting my steps in and watching all of the things, and I have been enjoying that new feature that they added on to our machines. And then lastly, before we go, I did do quite the little closet makeover for myself. I purged not enough stuff. I need to go back and do another purge. But I got rid of a lot of things that were no longer serving me, things that were too small, things that were very, very old, and things that I just wasn't wearing. I got rid of a lot of that stuff, made space to now hang up my workout clothes. Let me tell you, when I wake up in the morning now, you literally can't tell me anything. The ease that has brought into my mornings cannot be topped. When that alarm clock goes off at 5 o'clock, I get up now. I saunter into my closet. I pick a hanger, and on that hanger has a pair of leggings, a sports bra, and a top. I pick any hanger. I put on the things. I go make the breakfast. It has truly changed my morning life. I am no longer digging through baskets. I am no longer digging through drawers. I am no longer wasting time trying to find matching things. Those days are over for me. It's over. I walk into this closet now, and I'm recording this from my closet because my husband decided to work from home today, and he is having a meeting in the kitchen. And because I'm not on their payroll, I said I'm not doing nothing down here today. I'm not going to your job and my job. So I'm upstairs in my closet. But now when I wake up in the morning, I come in here and I just pick a hanger, I get dressed, and it's like easy peasy. Reduces my stress. Because see, that was something right there that was triggering me at 5 o'clock in the morning. I used to get so pissed off at 5 o'clock. At 5 o'clock in the morning, my day hasn't even started yet. I haven't even had a chance to drink water, get coffee. None of that. None of that has even happened to me yet. And I'm already irritated because I can't find the sports bra that I want that goes with the leggings that I want. And I can't find those neither. Couldn't find anything. So I was digging through stuff, tearing up my house, trying to find something to put on. I was getting triggered first thing in the morning, and that is no longer my life now. It's no longer my life. Now I just come in here, I pick a hanger, and I go. I put on the clothes, and I go. And it's been oh so good for me. Oh so good. So if you are like me and you are always digging through baskets and drawers trying to find what you're trying to work out in, if you can, girl, put that stuff on a hanger, which might require that you either get rid of some stuff. And I mean, like, all of it is not on hangers, right? I still have some like tank tops and shirts, like, my reserves, my backup things that are not in season quite yet. That's still in a drawer. But we all know this to be a fact. You might have 10 pairs of jeans, but girl, you only wear 2 of them. You have your favorites and you just wear those over and over again. You know what I'm saying? It's the same way with these workout clothes. I might have lots of different outfits and things and whatever, but at the end of the day, I admitted to myself, but Tia, you're literally only wearing whatever. Put those on a hanger. And if the weather is nasty and you need something else, or if you decide like, oh, I really need this or I really need that, then you can always open the drawer. And now everything is folded because everything can fit because you got rid of all that other stuff. Open the drawer and find what you need because it'll be in addition to the basics that are hanging on the hanger. The hanger gets you out of the door. Whatever's in the drawer is like the little bit of more that you might feel like you just want, a little bit of extra. But it has changed my life. If you can do that for yourself, do that for yourself. And it's going to change the game for you when you start getting ready for your workouts, going to the gym, getting outside, walking, all that stuff. Do it and let me know how it works out for you. And I think that's it. I think that's all we have for today. I am going to go pick my children up from school because it is almost 2:30, or I'm actually going to go down there and see if their daddy wants to go pick them up. Go get these children from school. It was so great catching up with you. I hope we all feel like we are in our soft girl era now. We're going to choose the peace, the happiness, the calmness. We're going to see how that might impact us in other areas of our life. I love that for us. Remember, when you're out, compliment a woman when you see her. Tell her she's pretty. Say something nice to her. Uplift her. Be a bright spot in her day. Remember, never knock another woman's hustle. Don't compete. Don't compare. Don't complain. What God has for you is for you. And I will chat with you during our next call, girl. This was an episode of Tia's Table. I'll talk to you next time. Love you, girl. Bye.